I'm Tammy Jones, and I am the 2014 U.S. Amateur Champion.
I'm Linda Wang, and I'm the 2017 U.S. Amateur Champion.
My name is Dana Aft, and I am the 2013 U.S. Amateur Champion.
My name is Kenneth Brisbane, and I am the 2014 U.S. Amateur Champion! Yes! Yeah, baby!
Rise and shine, campers. Day 2 of this year's U.S. Amateur Championship from Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida. Bright and early here in the Sunshine State. The action continues here in the 9 a.m. round, where we've got Logan Lane of Jacksonville, Florida, and Joseph Fronek of DuQuoin, Illinois. I think these players are just about ready to get going before we start the match. Rundown of the format. This is a race to 7, combination of 8-ball and 9-ball. Players will play 5 games, up to 5 games of 8-ball, up to 8 games of 9-ball. Of course, this event is double elimination leading up into the final round, which is an extended race, and the winner of the coin toss takes either the break or chooses the format. So players just about ready to go here. Not exactly sure which one this is. I believe that was Joseph with the break. Can't say I know much about either of these players, so we'll get to know them together as we watch them compete in this early round match. Be joined a little bit later today by my buddy Jeremy Jones. So settle in. It's going to be a great day of pool here from Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida. Just a reminder, you can find the brackets on CompuSport.us. There we go. Straightening out some of our equipment here this morning. Day 2 action at this year's U.S. Amateur Championship. Joseph pockets the 2 in the side, but runs the cue ball down into the corner pocket and scratches. So we'll get our first look at Logan Lane. Logan, again, is out of Jacksonville, Florida. About 3.5, maybe 4 hours from here in Tampa. Certainly a lot of Florida representation in this year's U.S. Amateur Championship. Which is not uncommon, given it is our largest state in terms of at least APA participation. Logan pockets the 9 in the side. We are on the 1-loss side of the bracket this morning. So this is an elimination round. Half of these players will be headed home after this round. The other half will move on, continue to fight their way through the one-loss bracket in hopes of surviving to Sunday, in particular Sunday afternoon, early evening, when we have the championship match. Logan surveying the table here. Again, the players will play 5 games of 8-ball before they switch over to the 9-ball set. Been a pretty common theme throughout this event. Players starting in that 8-ball set wanting to get a chance to hit some balls. Ease into the match, if you will. Get another look at Joseph here. Out of DuQuoin, Illinois. What do we know about Joseph? Been playing for over 30 years. Started out on a bumper pool table that his dad bought for him. Looks like he played a lot in the Navy. It's interesting. Grew up about 5 miles from Rudolph Wanderon, who you folks probably know more as the famous Minnesota Fats. Joseph played with him in his home several times when he was a kid, so that's a pretty cool story. Not many people can say they played with the great Minnesota Fats, but Joseph here able to do so. Also able to pocket that 8-ball and get a 1-0 lead here early on in this match. Joseph wanted to give a shout out to a man named Leonard Rice, the owner of the Corner Pocket in DuQuoin, Illinois. Logan Lane here, again from Jacksonville, Florida. Been playing about 15 years. He grew up with a table at home. And this is his first U.S. Amateur Championship appearance. Always good to see some new faces here. Logan really credits his dad with a lot of his interest and influence in pool, which is always good to hear. A father-son connection. Logan plays with a Mucci. Joseph with a combination shot in that lower corner. Follows it up. I also believe Joseph's now an APA league operator. Had a handful of those here this year, at least a couple. Johnny Griffin, another league operator that's here. Of course, an opportunity for the league operators to be able to play since there's no handicap system utilized. And because this is technically open to both APA and non-APA members, you don't have to be an APA member to play in the U.S. Amateur Championship, though it is a little bit lower of an entry fee if you are. So, one of the benefits of being an APA member, get to save $25 on your USAM entry. Joseph pockets that 8-ball, looks real comfortable early on here. Now with a 2-0 lead in this race to 7. He will once again have the break. A winner break format here at the U.S. Amateur Championship. Logan prepares the rack. Again, if you're looking to see how your favorite player here has fared at the U.S. Amateur Championship, you can go to CompuSport.us. I think we've got that pinned here in the comments. See how everybody's done thus far, who's still in, who's out, who's looking good, who's undefeated. I see defending champ Blake Baker over on table 1 this morning. Of course, he dropped a hill match in the first round to former champion Ernesto Bayawa. That was a 7-6 match, a great match. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, you can certainly go back and do that here on our Facebook page. But he seems to have fought his way through today too on the 1-loss side. Joseph again going to pull out that bridge. Again, if you're just joining us, I know it's early on Saturday morning. You're seeing live coverage of this year's U.S. Amateur Championship, the Open Division of the U.S. Amateur Championship. We finished up the women's division on Thursday evening, late on Thursday. Jeannie Seaver from Tarpon Springs, Florida, just up the road here ways. Your champion in that event. Congratulations to her. Defeated Julia Shearman. I had to go back and look at Julia's last name. Of course, her husband Jason playing here in the U.S. Amateur Championship. They're out of Port St. Lucie. And here, Joseph Fronek, again, looks pretty comfortable early on. Early on this Saturday morning. I can tell it's early because you guys are quiet out there. Sipping on your early morning coffees. Should be a great day of pool here at Strokers. Appreciate you tuning in. If you want to do us a favor, you can hit that share button so all your fellow pool players can enjoy this U.S. Amateur Championship action over their morning coffee. No handicaps used at this year's U.S. Amateur Championship, or any year's U.S. Amateur Championship, I should say. All straight up play here. I know we always get a lot of questions about the players' handicaps, so appreciate you folks in the chat. I know some of these guys chiming in because I don't have that information in front of me. Logan trying to cut into Joseph's lead here. Logan pulls within 1 game. And he'll have his first break of the match. Again, if you're just picking up this feed, you're seeing live coverage of this year's U.S. Amateur Championship from Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida. This event brought to you by the American Pool Players Association. 128 players qualified for this event across the country in preliminary rounds. I believe at last count 117 made it down here. Usually we have a couple that are no-shows for various reasons, maybe a little bit higher this year. Of course, it has been a weird year, so not necessarily unexpected. But still a very strong field, several former champions here. We mentioned defending champ Blake Baker, Raymond Linares, Ernesto Bayawa, David Rowell, Robert Hall, as well as a slew of other top amateurs who've yet to be crowned U.S. Amateur Champions, still chasing that one. But certainly a lot of talent in this room. Question about what is the cash prize. There is no cash prize for the U.S. Amateur Championship. One of the unique things about this event, one of the few pool tournaments you'll see that doesn't have a cash prize. Players here actually move on to a pro event the following year with their entry and hotel and lodging and flight, all that stuff. I guess lodging and hotel are the same, but all that stuff covered by APA. And then they also get to return to defend their title, get to come back to the lovely Florida the following year and defend that as well. And then, of course, probably the biggest benefit, if you were to ask the players that play, is getting their name on that coveted U.S. Amateur Championship trophy, the Larry Hubbard Trophy, which includes the name of every player that has won this tournament dating back to 1994. Ron Park, the first player to ever win the U.S. Amateur Championship, out of North Carolina. I want to wish Mr. Park well. It's my understanding he's been struggling with some COVID-related health issues, so we want to wish him the best. I don't have any news on future rounds of the stream and who will be on. They typically bring us a list about 2 minutes before we start, so many great players here. Wish we could feature them all. The one thing I tell these guys is if you want to assure yourself a chance of being on the stream, you just keep winning. That's how you do it. You keep winning and the stream will find you. Joseph Fronek here, looking to extend his lead. Joseph out of DuQuoin, Illinois. And apparently, as a kid, his sparring partner was none other than Minnesota Fats. Rudolph Wanderon. Love that story. Very cool. Question about, do I think it hurts participation from playing in this being no prize money? I don't think so. It certainly hasn't hurt over the last 25 plus years of this event. I believe we had a record number of players try to qualify again this year. Preliminary numbers tend to go up, so plenty of pool tournaments out there that offer prize money. Of course, we offer more than $2 million in prize money at our own pool tournaments, so this is just something a little different. And I think if you were to ask the players that play in this event, they certainly enjoy what the benefits are. But no doubt, it's definitely a different event for the pool world. Very unique. Somebody asking about our YouTube channel and the reason the stream is only available on Facebook. We had some issues with the upload speed. If you guys were tuning in during the first round of the ladies event when we lost our stream, that was because we were simulcasting the two platforms, so we had to discontinue that. So hopefully you're enjoying it here on the Facebook page. I would imagine at some point these matches will make their way over to YouTube, but probably after the fact. Joseph now with a 3-0 lead. 3-1 lead, I'm sorry, over Logan Lane. This is a race to 7, so this will be the final game of the 8-ball set before they switch over to 9-ball. As I mentioned earlier, this is an elimination round. Half of the players playing in this 9 a.m. round will unfortunately be headed home after this. The other half moving on, fighting their way through the one-loss side of the bracket. If you're interested in potentially competing in the U.S. Amateur Championship, you can go to USAmateurChampionship.com, or you can go to Poolplayers.com and go to the tournament information and select the U.S. Amateur Championship. Get all the details on how to register for a preliminary round and entry fees. I do believe we've got a entry window currently open for the September preliminaries if you want to check that out. I think we're still trying to sort through whether or not there'll be multiple preliminary windows as there were this year. I think the answer is probably yes, because it was very popular, but those logistics still need to be figured out. We've tentatively scheduled the preliminaries, though, for September, at least the first rounds of preliminaries. And I know some folks have also asked about future U.S. Amateur Championship dates. Still to be determined, and yes, we are looking at potentially keeping it during this time of year. Early spring, late winter kind of time frame, February, March time frame. But those decisions have still yet to be finalized. Meanwhile, Logan Lane looking to again close the gap here in this match. Questions about the tables. Some of them are diamond tables. There's actually a mix of tables here at Strokers. Steve, I see you're up bright and early for a Saturday morning. Logan able to cut that 8-ball in the lower corner pocket. Again, pulls within one game of Joseph Fronek. And that'll close out the 8-ball set. We'll pull a few balls off the table and prepare the 9-ball rack. Could see up to 8 games of 9-ball, depending on how things go here for these two. Again, if you're just joining us, this is coverage of this year's U.S. Amateur Championship, the Open Division. Got Joseph Fronek from DuQuoin, Illinois, currently leading 3-2 over Logan Lane out of Jacksonville. One of several Floridians to qualify for this year's U.S. Amateur Championship. Dry break there for Logan. Bring Joseph back to the table. Says Joseph plays with a Tim Scruggs Sneaky Pete from the mid to late 1980s. Interesting. And he uses a Mucci brake cue and a Predator Air 2 jump cue. Logan, meanwhile, is rocking the Mucci with a 12.9 Revo victory tip. He wanted to give a shout out to 9-Ball Heaven back in Jacksonville and Team Trouble in Chinatown. This is his first year here at the U.S. Amateur Championship. I think both of these players' first year here. A couple more rookies here on the stream. Always good to see new faces. Somebody commented about the number of dry breaks, and I got to agree with you. It does seem like an unusually high number to me. Not sure the reason, but certainly seems that way, although I haven't been keeping an official tally, so that might be more perception than reality, but of course, all the participants wearing their masks this year. One of many COVID protocols put in place for this event. Try to keep everybody healthy. And I gotta say, the players have been great. Trying to stay seated here at strokers. Distance where they can. There's about a dozen air filters that were brought in for this event. Of course, limited capacity, although I don't know that that's been a huge issue as Logan pockets the 8, turns his attention to the 9-ball. Large 10 out back that players have been able to hang out in between their rounds. Logan now tied, Logan Lane tied with Joseph Fronek, 3-3. Hopefully this U.S. Amateur Championship will be the first of several major APA championships to come in 2021. I know we've got the junior championships still slated for July. Not yet clear on whether or not that event will be able to happen or not. Of course, a lot of eyes on the pool player championships, which were moved from April to August, and the world championships in October. I think those events are trending in a positive direction. Can't say they're 100% yet, unfortunately, but as the country seems to move towards some normalcy, hopefully we'll get some good news. I just got a meeting request for when I get back to St. Louis about some conversations we're having with the Westgate about what an event in August would look like in terms of various protocols to try to keep people safe and to follow the rules that are in place out there for large-scale events. So we're hopeful. Nothing is 100%, but we are hopeful that those events will take place a little bit later this year. Meanwhile, Joseph Fronek has seen his early lead evaporate. So he's looking to pull ahead again here in this 9-ball rack. Pockets the 4 up in the corner. 5 in the side. Six in the lower corner. He's just picking them off there from the middle of the table. Good spot to be. Well, I think he might have. Looks to be. He might have brought that a little too far, but we'll see if he can navigate his way out of that a little bit. Again, he was up 2-0 here, and then 3-1, but Logan has battled his way back. Well, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. He misses that 8-ball on the side, but you can see it kicks over to the opposite side and straight into that pocket. So he's now on the 9-ball and a chance to regain the lead. Manages to recover pretty nicely and takes a 4-3 lead after pocketing that 9, cutting it into the corner pocket. Pretty good early match here on a Saturday morning at the U.S. Amateur Championship. Again, this is a winter break format. Looks like he pocketed the 2-ball on the break. That lower corner. Rick, we're glad you're enjoying the stream. We appreciate you folks all tuning in. If you are enjoying the stream, the one thing you can do to help us out is to hit that share button. Oh, looky there. Tried to go for the 3-9 combo. Unsuccessful, however. That 9-ball sitting in that lower pocket. Somebody asked where Efren Reyes is, although they asked Efren with an I. I'm assuming you mean Efren with an E, and last I heard he was in the Philippines. I think he, you can Google search it, but I think he was actually getting a little bit of trouble because they were playing pool when they weren't supposed to be. So I saw something about that on Facebook just before coming to Tampa about a week ago, so you can research that, but certainly no Efren Reyes here at the U.S. Amateur Championship. Not that he couldn't play with these guys, but quite certain His amateur status expired decades ago. Perhaps the next Efren Reyes is in the room, though. Wouldn't that be something? All right, Joseph's going to take a shot at that 9-ball again. This time he gets it to go. That'll put him up 5-3. Quick rack there. Again, this is a race to 7. Joseph needs just 2 more games to Logan's 4. This is the 9 a.m. round at this year's U.S. Amateur Championship, an elimination round. All of these players have endured 1 loss, which means, unfortunately for half of them, they'll be headed out of the tournament at least, maybe to the beach. Beautiful weather we've had here in Tampa, albeit a little cooler the last couple of days. Now Joseph isn't having too many problems with a dry break. I think he got that 2-ball again in that lower corner. Gonna have a little trouble getting to the 1, it looks like. I'll try to come off the rail. Makes good contact. Logan's going to have to mount yet another comeback here if he's going to stave off elimination in this year's U.S. Amateur Championship. Now down 5-3. His second 2-game deficit of the match. Tough miss there for Logan. Kind of a quiet morning here at Strokers. Everybody just kind of settling in. Of course, pool players, not necessarily known to be the early risers typically. But I think everybody made it to their 9 a.m. match, which is always good news. Logan grabs that bridge. Next round of the day is scheduled for 10:30 a.m. Well, good morning, Les Simmons. Hope you're doing well back in St. Louis. Les, a longtime APA member back in my hometown. Plays in the St. Louis APA. One of so many loyal and helpful APA members. Kind of the folks that are the glue in our leagues around the country. Jump shot there by Logan. Lots of folks joining us from all over the country. Hello, Dwayne from Michigan. Good morning, Brett. Brett Harlan. Rick, 497 APA matches. That's a lot of matches, buddy. Need to get those last 3 in, get over the 500 mark. Frank from Fort Walton Beach up in the Panhandle tuning in. Good morning to all. Rise and shine. Going to be a great day here at Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida, as we move closer to crowning a 2020-2021 U.S. Amateur Champion. Good morning, Phil Sneed. Antonio tuning in from Montreal, Quebec. Hope you're doing well up there. Love to be able to see our Canadian friends sooner than later. Hopefully that guys will start being able to cross the border soon. David Milt from Gainesville. A place near and dear to my heart. Go Gators, David. Great win yesterday for them. Mario from Kalamazoo, Cheryl from Pittsburgh. Love seeing where everybody tunes in from. Wonder who's tuning in from the furthest away. David in Vegas. Thank you for the compliment, Trick 60. No surprise, some folks from DuQuoin tuning in, rooting for Joe. Steven and Sue Knapp. Joseph about to run out this rack and extend his lead. This will put him on the hill. Richard from Arkansas. Rob out of Georgia. And Joseph Fronek now on the hill here in Tampa. Another Canadian, Bob out of Ontario. Keith out of Texas. And Brian from Kenny Brisbane's hometown, somewhere up there in Michigan. I think Kenny's from Detroit, if I'm not mistaken. Unfortunately, Kenny, former champion, 2014 champion, unable to make it down here. We want to wish him well. Hope he's doing okay. Johnny out of North Carolina. Lydia out of Nebraska. All over the country. Jessica from New Jersey. George Scott, a member of the Nebraska APA. I'm guessing he plays for my buddy Joe Bond up there. Meanwhile, back here, Logan Lane needs to make something happen. He is dangerously close to exiting this year's U.S. Amateur Championship. We're running out of time. Gonna have to try to take it one ball at a time, one game at a time. Crawl back into this match. The hard thing is Joseph here is determined not to let that happen. Some folks from Jacksonville rooting Logan on. You can see they're both playing a little safety game over there with that 2-ball. Finally, Joseph frees up that 6-ball, so a little more room for Logan here. Again, plays safe behind that 7-ball. Logan's got to play pretty much mistake-free from here if he's going to mount a comeback. So he's going to be patient, and he's going to make Joseph earn every bit of it if he's going to get a victory here. Matthew from Okeechobee. Martin from Tennessee. Billy from Joe's hometown, DuQuoin, Illinois. I think I'm saying DuQuoin correctly. Not a town in Illinois I'm familiar with. Ball in hand there to Joseph. Logan just caught a piece of that 6-ball. Joseph finally drops that 2-ball. And tries to chart a course from there. Pockets the 3 in the corner. Okay, DuQuoin's only a half hour from the Lou. If you know the Lou, then I know you're from near where I'm from, back in St. Louis. Charlie Brown out of Baton Rouge. I'm assuming that's not the Charlie Brown, but if it is, my mind's blown. It is early, folks. Coffee's still kicking in, I promise. Of course, later today, my buddy Double J, Jeremy Jones, will be here. I know you folks love listening to Jeremy do the commentary, one of the most knowledgeable minds in all of the pool world. You can look forward to that. He should be in around the 1:30 round today. Until then, it's just you and me. Keith and Sylvia out of Guelph, Ontario. Hometown of my buddy Gord Fezidin. Hope you guys are all doing well up there. Hopefully we can get you guys down across that border sooner than later. I know you guys are itching to get out up there. Pat out of Ackworth, Georgia. Jerry from Chicago. The Windy City. A lot of great players coming out of Chicago and that Midwest part of the country. Peoria. Here at Strokers, Logan is desperately trying to stave off elimination in this year's U.S. Amateur Championship. Mike, we appreciate you sharing this on your Facebook page. I'd encourage all of you, if you're enjoying this coverage, to share it with all your pool playing friends. It's as easy as hitting that share button. What that does is it helps us draw more viewers, which is great for these participants and their sponsors. Logan fires that 9-ball in the corner. He's not going down without a fight. Pulls within 1 or within 2. The hard thing is Joseph is still on the hill, needs just 1. Hello, Lee Zier. It's good to hear from you back in Alabama. You know, you get so used to seeing folks, whether they're league operators or longtime members who you're used to seeing always in Vegas. Been kind of strange not being able to see people now for the better part of the last year or so. Kind of the nice thing about the U.S. Amateur Championship, had a chance to see quite a few people I haven't seen in a while, so that's always nice. Hope to see more of you again as the year moves along, moves back to a more normal way of life. Fingers crossed. Jay Stock's rooting for the comeback here. We shall see. Always love a good hill showdown. Had a great one of those yesterday morning, right out of the bat. Well, I guess it was yesterday afternoon, 1:30, but first round for defending champ Blake Baker and former champ Ernesto Bayawa. If you haven't seen that match, I'd encourage you to go back and watch it when you get a chance. It was a dandy. Hill came down to that final game. And I'm not going to tell you who won. You're going to have to go back and watch it for yourself. But it was a good one. It's a shame that somebody had to lose that match. Looks like some of the tables now clearing up from the 9 a.m. round. Thank you. Excuse me. Jennifer Swinson wants to know how I got into pool and ended up where I am with APA. So I was not a pool player. I was a marketing guy, graduated from the University of Florida, go Gators. Was looking to break into the sports marketing world and was originally from St. Louis. So it was one of the markets I was looking for a job, and they happened to have one for a marketing assistant. That was back in the early part of 2000, and came up for a couple of rounds of interviews, and they offered me a job. Almost 21 years later, still there. Great place to work, great company, family-owned company. "21 years worth of these U.S. Amateur Championships I've been to now. And I can pretty much remember the winner from every single one of them." Oh, Logan tried to fire that 2-ball into the top corner, missed it, but he got a little lucky when it went into the side. However, he's kind of buried behind that 8-ball now, so tough situation here. You can see just taps that 8-ball. Gives ball in hand to Joseph. Brett, my wife Katie, does also work at APA, different part of the company. She actually manages our World Championship program, so. But yes, we actually met at APA. I guess I had been there about 9 years. somewhere around there. And we were married in 2012, actually down here in the Tampa area. And now we've got a couple of kids, so we're an APA family, no doubt. Very near and dear to our hearts, for sure. I would say out of the 60-something employees in our office, I think we've got, what, 3 couples, maybe 4 couples? Jeff and Lynn, we got Tim and Renee, we've got DL and Alicia, Bill and Tracy, five couples. So some of us met at APA, some of us were, or some of them I should say, were couples before, but we're one big family there. And really that extends to our, I would say, to our league operator network and our members. I mean, it's, you know, we consider everyone part of the APA family. That's what makes it so special. Of course, I do play pool. Hard to work at APA and not play pool. Don't necessarily play pool well within my skill level, I should say. I did pick up an MVP award in our last session before the pandemic. My team took our office division, I think, the last, how many years, Kara? 2. So we do play pool back at the office, no doubt. Of course, we can't play in the normal, well, we could play in normal league, but we can't qualify for anything. So we tend to play in an inter-office league and have a lot of fun with that. Some pretty good shooters in our office, though. But I am more of a poster boy for the handicap system than a great pool player, I can assure you. Brett met his wife playing APA, and their 19-year-old son plays on their team. I love hearing stories like that when APA becomes a family affair. So many couples I've talked to met through APA leagues. I would say that's one of the reasons I've been around with APA for so long. It's just it's a nice business to do, right? When you're bringing people together and they're enjoying themselves. Certainly beats some of the other things I could be doing out there. And meanwhile, here, Joseph Fronek inching closer to victory. Question about Jeanette Lee, another big member of the APA family, of course, diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer. So she is undergoing treatment, but you know, we're all hoping and praying for her. It's been a couple of weeks since I last talked to Jeanette, but I'm told she is fighting the good fight, which I had no doubt, having known Jeanette for well over the last decade. I had no doubt that she would be a fighter. Logan Lane fighting here, fighting for his tournament life. Not willing to concede this match. Cuts that 9 in the side. And he is making things interesting here. Pulls within 1. Again, Joseph still on the hill. Logan now with the break. You guys are getting a good one on this Saturday morning. Somebody asked about Brian Parks. Brian, unfortunately, is not here this year. Of course, Brian lives out in Bakersfield, California. Much of California still shut down in terms of pool playing. So Brian unable to compete in a preliminary round this year and make it here to Tampa. But we wish him well. He and his wife Sarah. Sarah's also a pretty good pool player. I know the kids are also playing now. They've been to our junior championship, so great family. Probably not tuning in yet this morning, a little early on the California time, but shout out to Brian. Somebody had asked about August, whether August was still looking good. I believe August looks as good as it's looked. I know when we made the announcement that we were making the scheduling changes in January, the vaccines had just begun, and, it was, if I had to give it a percentage, I might have said 50-50 back then. Now I feel much more confident. I'd say 75-25% chance. Again, there are no guarantees, but I think just if you look at the way things are trending between COVID cases dropping off a good bit since January and vaccinations ramping up, I know Vegas is set to, the state of Nevada, I believe, is set to turn over decisions about events and things like that to the city of Las Vegas starting in May. And I know there are some pretty big conferences still on the schedule in Las Vegas for June. So I would say those are all positive signs. I can tell you we will do everything we possibly can to host that event. Of course, if we host that event, we'll have to find a way to make sure we can keep everybody as safe and healthy as possible. So, not sure what the protocols might look like for an event. Might look a little different. So I do think there's reason to be hopeful and excited about what might lie ahead with tournaments later in the year. Of course, that was a big reason we pushed those events as late in the year as possible, because we felt like the country would start returning to some normalcy as we moved deeper into 2021, and it appears that's what's happening. Of course, I'm no scientist, but just my take on it since you asked. All right, Joseph with an opportunity to close this match out and move on in this tournament. Pockets the 8 in the side. Now just a 9 ball away. Oh, well, sometimes the last one is always the hardest. Joseph seemingly had this wrapped up, rattles that 9 ball in the corner pocket. And Logan Lane still alive here in this 9 a.m. round. I'm guessing he is as surprised as the rest of us that Joseph missed that shot. Logan takes advantage, and folks, we got a hill match here. Tied 6-6. This match will be determined by the next game. One match. One will advance. One will go home. And Logan, now with the break, has a bit of the upper hand here for the first time in this match. And just as I say that, we see another dry break. So Joseph will return to the table. And we'll sit back and see how this early morning dandy plays out. Wonder if either of these two players dreamt last night about being locked in a hill-hill showdown with their tournament life on the line and a chance at the table. I'm guessing if they did, the rack didn't look like this. Nevertheless, here they are, 6-6. One game to determine the outcome of this match. Well, there it is, folks. Joseph finally puts it away with that 2-9 combo, and he's moving on. Logan Lane, quite the comeback bid there. Falls a little short. Certainly disappointing for Logan, but still a good run in this year's U.S. Amateur Championship in his first appearance. So we appreciate you folks tuning in this morning, keeping me company. We're going to take a short break, and we will be back with another match here at this year's U.S. Amateur Championship. Thanks for